It is 6:30 a.m., still pitch dark outside. We're getting toward the end of daylight saving time, and that means that sunrise is getting really, really late. Doesn't hurt my feelings at all. You get to sleep a little bit later on fishing trips. But I just made the 90-minute journey from my house down to Lafitte, Louisiana. I'm meeting Captain Lane Zimmer this morning. He's the inventor of death grip jig heads. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know those are my favorite jig heads by far. They're just absolutely fantastic. Baits do not slip down off those jig heads. But I've been fishing with Lane for years. He's an outstanding speckled trout angler. You know I love catching trout. And that's the agenda for today. We got a bit of a wind though. Wind's blowing out of the east. Supposed to blow about 15 knots today. That may limit the areas we can hit. If we have to, we'll duck back in the marsh or go target redfish. Hopefully get a few hours of trout fishing in this morning. Man, I can't wait. All right, Lane and I made a long run, and we've come to this area. It's got birds diving all over here. Lane said yesterday they were dipping on shrimp. Shrimp are not big, they're really little, but full of trout in here, so let's see. Man, water looks great.
It's been pretty back here. Like I said, the northeast wind has been blowing off this bank right here this whole time, so the water's been nice.
It's funny because all the marshes I've been fishing, same deal, man. The shrimp are like 120 count, and before all those storm surges, there was some freaking monsters. Like, I'm talking 10 count shrimp.
There was some big shrimp being caught right in the bayou in front of the marina.
Really?
Monster shrimp.
First bite. There he is.
There he is.
Feels like a keeper. Seagull's trying to eat him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Solid fish.
Are you keeping fish?
Yeah, we can keep some.
Got him?
Yeah.
Fish on, fish on. What you guess? You can make the cut?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Be a tail pincher.
Oh goodness. Be a tail pincher. I got smoked. Oh man, I threw in his mouth. He watched it flying through the air. All right, I'm calling this a yes. This is a yes.
Got it, you think?
Oh, I don't know.
This one feels better.
I don't know. Actually, I think mine make it. I think mine might make it. Yeah.
Almost a 12.
Close.
Not quite.
Yeah. A little short.
Same thing.
Yeah, a little short. How deep is it where we're throwing? Just a couple feet? 3 feet?
4
Okay.
feet maybe. Nothing deep right here. Didn't take long.
What you call? What you call?
Yeah, I think he's gonna be short. He ain't
Short.
not much of a fight.
He's staying down.
He is. Oh,
Ooh,
Never
that's a
mind.
good fish. That's a team maker. Oh, he is not gonna make it. That is a no. It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I think this one's gonna be in the same boat.
Get out there and eat some more shrimp, buddy. You need a girl.
Second hit the bottom.
It's like a decent fish.
Yep. Yeah, I think we can bring this one home with
Yep.
us.
So would these fish be here if the tide were rising, or is it just that this falling tide is sucking them out?
No, I think they'd be here.
They'd be even a rise.
They were here when the tide was absolutely slack.
Okay,
So they're just in here eating everything that's in the
I got you. Okay.
They not just shrimp, they got pogies in their bellies too.
Oh, they do.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, that's a good trout.
That's a good one.
That's a good trout.
That's more like what I'm looking for.
All right, Lane.
Pick your fish.
Let's get a picture. You know the drill.
Yep. Oh, come on.
Got it.
I ain't got time.
Keeper. And another keeper.
Another double.
Oh, that's a good fish.
Ready to fill? All right.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Let go, let go. Let go of that tail. Throw it in his mouth.
I'm waiting for you.
I think he's a keeper. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He thumped when he hit the deck. Sure sign of a keeper. 1.5. All right, dare I break it out?
Give it a try.
I might break out the cork cam.
I think you. Water's clean enough. I think you.
Water's clean enough and the sun's not up. That's only, you know.
You think it'll be too dark?
I don't know. I don't know. Something always goes wrong with this, so probably so. All right, his lane's reeling in this really nice trout.
Oh, come on.
Good fish. Man, that's a good fish. Look at that beast. I'm gonna throw the cork cam. This is called a GoFish Cam. I've attempted to use it many times. Usually it doesn't work out, but hopefully today it will. Got a brown shrimp ghost minnow beneath it on a 1/16 ounce death grip jig head.
Fish.
Down already. Look at this.
Nice fish too. I sure hope that recorded it.
Oh, look at that. Look where the thing's
it's
pointing.
Pointing up. Oh, it's a good fish too.
Look at that. I mean, you see, that's how this thing is. Like something always goes wrong.
No.
Like that would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have. First
But
cast,
none of it. I'll get a beautiful view of the sky. There's another one, Lane. Let's see.
If we keep this thing straight, man, you can get some good footage of it.
Get some incredible footage.
Hey, it's staying down. Look at it.
Nice. Man, please let that work out. So that's a long, skinny fish. I think he's actually gonna make it. Oh yeah, 12.5. Uh-oh. Man, good fish. Another keeper.
Keep waiting for that camera thing to go down.
I know. I need to throw over here. Where are you throwing?
Yeah.
Well, it's not likely to go down when it's like that. I mean, it's possible,
That had to be a brave fish.
but it ain't too likely. All right, all right. I think it's actually a keeper. Well, you can't really know he's not a keeper, but still, he's very cool.
He's dragging all that hard way, and he's keeping gonna be a monster on there. Oh, he might make it.
He might make it. He's worth a measure. All right. All right, Lane, you can click him. Okay, so if you're like me, you're dying to see this cork cam footage. I couldn't wait to get home and stick the SD card in my computer. Now, the water is clean but not pristine, so the views are a bit muted, but they're still really cool. One note on the front end, I'm using 30-pound mono because I didn't want any fish to break off, but I can tell you I'll never do it again, ever. This stuff looks like goat rope. How can any fish hit any bait tied to this stuff? Did you catch that? No? Okay, let me slow it down. Still didn't get it? Let me slow it down some more. A trout darts out of nowhere and hits the bait, but unfortunately misses it. I set the hook before letting the bait settle. Another trout comes along, and this one isn't so lucky. I'll show you that hit again as slow as I can get it. Man, that's just so cool. All right, now here you see the goat rope and me popping the ghost minnow. Get ready. Swing and a miss. But this guy gets it. All right, here's another cast. Notice the fish swim next to the bait to check it out? Looks to me like a redfish, but it could be a trout. I can't tell. I'll show you that again in case you missed it. All right, I put the cork cam away, and while I was fooling with it, I had to watch Lane catch 5 or 6 trout right here. He's throwing a cork with a white shrimp ghost minnow, Lane, under it.
White shrimp ghost minnow and a 16th ounce death grip. Get it, God.
So Lane, we've talked about this before, but for people who maybe haven't seen it, what is it about a 1/16 ounce death grip jig head that you like under a cork?
I'm really hoping that your little camera deal is catching this underwater, but when you drop down to a little small 16th ounce jig head, the bait falls so slow and so natural. It's a lot more like what a shrimp or a minnow is going to do when it's actually swimming through the water, rather than like a 1/4 ounce or anything else like that where it's going to go down kind of quick. It just looks a whole lot more natural coming off that cork that way.
Yeah, and you know, people tend to think, even if you fish a paddle tail under a cork, that they're kind of imitating a bait fish. Really, in my view, I don't know if you agree, but I kind of think the fish think it's a shrimp. I think that's what they think it is.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, you look at a shrimp, you throw a live shrimp in the water, he doesn't just rocket to the bottom. It's a very slow fall.
You know, kind of glide down on it. The only way the shrimp really moves fast is when he's scooting backwards.
Right.
So as he's moving forward, you know, it's a nice slow fall, you know, from the surface. That one might be.
There's a keeper. Get in the bucket. And look, for those of you from out of town, obviously the fish we're catching right now are not trophies. We're not going to mount them. We're not going to put them on the wall. We are going to eat them, however.
Oh yeah.
And these will be the best ones you've ever eaten. That one didn't make it. The limit in Louisiana is still 12 inches.
For now.
For now, for at least the next year. And no matter what, when you're catching fish, it's just a lot of fun, period. I don't think Lane or I would complain if we caught a 5-pounder right now, obviously.
No, not at all.
But this is a blast.
Hard to be upset when you're catching fish almost every cast.
Correct. Got a shot. I don't think he's gonna make it. Oh, look at this. Look how few specks this guy has. I thought he was a white trout for a second. Right. I don't think you're gonna make it, bro. Ooh, you're a lot closer than I thought you were. Let's see, let's measure you right. Yeah, you're gonna make it. Look at that. So Lane, what would you say is the most important element for locating autumn speckled trout?
Us here in Lafitte, definitely if you can find some kind of grass somewhere. That seems to be the key right now. If you can find these standing grass beds that holding bait, you're gonna find speckled trout.
And is that kind of the reason? Is because the grass holds the bait?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All of the little shrimp and minnows and stuff that the trout are eating right now, trying to fatten up for the winter, are all hiding in this grass. So where the bait is, where the speckled trout are. You might make it too. Like we're going so far this morning, everywhere we've passed, that we've got these little grass beds going up and down. There's been
That's where we caught the fish.
everywhere.
Yeah. I think you're gonna make the cut, dude. I think you're gonna make the cut. Yeah, you are. And you said the shrimp back here have not been big, but it really hasn't mattered, huh?
They've been small, but they're still in here eating them.
Like that one?
Yep.
He thought he was eating a shrimp.
A decent sized fish. Come here.
That's a good one.
Oh, come on.
All right. How can you not love the fall, huh?
Love it. I wait all year to come do this.
I'm with you. I agree. I love it. Oh, yeah. Good fish, good fish. About a 14-incher, no measuring necessary. So Lane and I probably trolled about half a mile along this shoreline, and we haven't caught fish on every single cast, but it seems like we're running across schools of them and catch 4 or 5 out of that school and then kind of move on. So these fish they're not schooled up like wintertime where it's just, you know, you sit in one spot and just load the boat. But if you find a productive area like this with bait and clean water, man, you could just work that whole area and definitely catch a whole lot of fish.
I think that's a lot of what's going on, is there's so much bait in the water right now. The fish, they really don't have to sit in one spot. They can maneuver and run up and down right here, and they can run into something to eat, so they kind of spread out. Yeah,
that's a good point. I guess, you know, in the wintertime, the bait's much more limited, so it's going to be in smaller areas, and the fish will get more concentrated in those areas. I think we got a double in. Mine's going to make it, I know. I got a nice one. Yours is going to make it too. That's a good fish. Double keepers.
Oh yeah.
It's a good solid trout. Good solid trout. So Lane, really you'd say the pattern we're fishing today, finding grass, finding bait because of the grass, covering some water and catching a bunch of trout, that should definitely continue until we get a weather change, right?
Yeah, until we see a big cold front come through and really cool the water temperatures down, this is going to stay pretty consistent.
Okay.
Because when that big blow happens, it's going to drop the water temperature, drop the water levels, and blow a bunch of this bait out of here.
Okay.
But until that, all this stuff is going to kind of stay in this little pattern we're in.
And there's no severe cold in sight, so
Oh, that's what I thought.
these big boys will be around for at least another few weeks.
I would not run a mild winter this year, especially after the last few we had.
Yeah, you're right. So I had a crab bite the tail off of my ghost minnow. And this is the worst thing about death grips. Changing out these baits, because man, look at that. They just do not come off. See if I can rip it. Yeah, too bad. So I had to rip the bait off. That tells you a fish is not going to pull that bait down. Just not even possible. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know I'm not just saying that because the man who invented this jig head is standing right here. If there was a better jig head, I'd fish it, but there is no better jig head in existence than the death grip. That's not a little one.
Somewhere.
Where's your net?
Right
I see it. I'm thinking he's not flippable. Lane said some big redfish have been living around here. Sometimes they just hit your cork, but this one hit his ghost minnow. It's a big brute, definitely an over. Pretty fish. Now this fish is over 27 inches. But he is still legal in Louisiana. But Lane's not going to keep him. We're going to let him go.
We're going to turn him loose, make babies.
So Lane, you'd say in general you like, among your baits, you like the ghost minnow under a cork and you prefer the mad mullet if you're tight lining, right?
That's correct.
Is there ever a time you kind of switch the two for any reason?
I hardly ever put the mad mullet under the cork. I just feel it's not the right presentation for it.
Okay.
But sometimes I'll take the ghost minnow and jig it off the bottom.
Okay.
Sometimes just that little subtle darting is just what them fish prefer.
Want. Mm-hmm.
And we'll catch a bunch of trout using it like that.
Okay. I guess fishing it kind of like that old Norton sand deal, right? Just, yeah.
You twitch it up along the bottom, you let it fall, kind of drag it a little bit. I got one.
That's not a bad fish.
Oh, that's a pretty one.
Man, that's a good fish. Look at that trout. Man, is that beautiful. Dude, is that beautiful. Nice. So random big fish amongst all these schoolies.
Yep, solid fish. Especially big for our area. We kind of known for having, you know, 12, 13, 14 inch trout. When you run into some big one like this, you know, 16, 17 inches, it's a nice addition to your box.
Yeah, absolutely. You take the picture, you put those on top of the box. Man, fishing just does not get a whole lot better. It wasn't every single cast, but it was pretty darn close. Nice morning, very quickly caught our limit of speckled trout. It just doesn't get any better. And the good news is Lane said this action will be going on for many, many more weeks. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.